all the viewers of ITV Gold. I have a very, very special episode today. And this episode is about a movie which is basically a biopic made on one of the best chefs that India has ever seen. And I have two very special gentlemen who are joining me from India, all the way from Mumbai. Do the honors and let me introduce these two wonderful gentlemen, a great actor and a director who's making his directorial debut. So let's put our hands together for Sharib, Hashmi, and Mr. Piyush Gupta. Sharib bhai, how are you doing?
Thank you so much. I'm doing amazing and super excited because a film is going to be screened tonight, and I'm I can't wait for the screening to happen. And right now it's raining in Bombay, and it's a beautiful weather. So yeah.
I know.
मेरा तो मानना है कि खाना बनाने वाले के इमोशंस खाने में मिल ही जाते हैं।
अब ये खा के तेरे को लूज मोशन ना हुए ना, मारो नाम पर तरला शान थी।
देख बेटा, अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है ना, तो अभी के अभी बता दे। हाँ
नहीं एकदम 10 on 10।
मेरे को ना लाइफ में कुछ करना है। हाँ, अभी क्या करना है वो अभी मालूम नहीं है, पर कुछ तो करना है। आज मैं आपको बताऊंगी मेरे कुछ करने की रेसिपी। पहले तो आप 4-5 ऐसे लोग लो जो आप पे हंसते हो। नल्लू, रोटी गोल ही क्यों होती है? पराठा तो स्क्वायर, ट्रायंगल सब बनता है। पर नहीं, बेचारी रोटी पे गोल होने का प्रेशर क्यों? हाँ, पर हम क्या करते हैं? हाँ, अपने इस कुछ को एक एयर टाइट डब्बे में बंद करके पीछे कहीं रख के भूल जाते हैं। 12 साल हो गए हमारी शादी को। उस रद्दी वाले को भी पता है उसको लाइफ में क्या करना है। और एक मैं। लेकिन आपको एक बेस्ट बात बताऊं, आपके इस कुछ को ढूंढने की ना कोई एक्सपायरी डेट नहीं होती है। हाँ, पर शर्त ये है कि ट्राई करते रहना ही पड़ेगा। वेलकम टू होम तरला कुकिंग क्लास।
यही तो है जिंदगी।
समझ में नहीं आ रहा है क्या ये?
मैंने क्या किया ना, मुर्ग मुसलम को लिया, मुर्ग को हटा दिया, मुसलम रख ले, तो बटाटा मुसलम।
यही तो है, यही तो है।
Piyush, how are you doing today? How's the weather in Mumbai and how excited are you for today? A big day for you. Tarla is going to be released. Your take, your first movie as a director. You know, you've written co-written such great projects like Dangal, Chichore, and you know, a beautiful, beautiful, iconic day for you. How excited are you? And take us through this journey, Piyush.
So of course I'm very excited, also nervous, which is an otherwise emotion that I've not felt as much while making Tarla. You know, people would often ask me, are you nervous on first day? Are you nervous when you're narrating? And I would never feel any of these emotions. I think on Tarla, I felt almost every emotion was an anticlimax. So on the first day, I was not nervous. But suddenly, one of the days of the edit, I would get damn nervous because there's an important scene that we need to edit and I'm not sure how it would look. Overall, I'm really excited. Also, because I think my family is going to watch the film for the first time. So many of my friends, so many people I really respect are going to be there. So yeah, very important day for me. Taking you through Tarla's journey, I think quite simply, Tarla has been one of the projects which were a deep dive into my childhood for me. I grew up with a mother who was obsessed with food. She would watch Dalal show on television, cook something in her kitchen, come to the living room, ask me to open my mouth and just shove it in my mouth and ask me to guess what she's made. So my entire childhood has been filled with food being put down my throat, and you know, she would ask me to guess what it is made out of. These were the kicks with which I was, you know, my mother was always had, and I grew up around. So it was in many ways, Tarla has been one of the ways to analyze my mother's life, to look at how my father and mom's relationship has been, to also revisit my childhood. Yeah. So quite exciting.
But if I had to ask you a question, Piyush, why Huma and why Sharib? Like, what did you see? What qualities did you see in Huma that somehow mirror imposed with Tarla?
Uh, so I don't know. I just always had this thing that our parents had would look very imperfect together, and I was trying to recreate the couples of that generation, that era. You know, in 60s, 70s, couples looked very odd. Women were very beautiful, and men were very average looking, or vice versa. I wouldn't, because it'll be a direct pot shot at Sharib over here. But my thing was that what I was looking for an anti-caste.
But you're true.
I was looking for an anti-caste which could represent our parents' generation. With Huma ma'am, I felt that she had the same spirit, same bubbliness, same chirpiness. She had the same spontaneity that I would find in Tarlaji's videos. So, getting her on board became like I didn't get caught up with the height issue and all these kind of things, because I feel physicality is something that a director must mold his actors into. But I was looking for that person who could bring to life this character who is so loved on television already. With Sharib sir, it was basically I don't know, man. I just fell in love with him from the day I met him. So as far as this character is concerned, from the moment I met him, I could not imagine anyone else doing it. And for a lot of people, this was an unconventional choice. For me, this was the only natural choice, as somebody who scored it in the film and also somebody who directed it. I could only find my character in him. So I was always certain from the time that I met him that he's the one who should be playing Nalin. And it didn't take a lot of convincing people either. Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
And
Love you, sir.
and asking you the same question, Sharib, right? You have working with Danny Boyle from Slumdog Millionaire, to working with Yashi in to working with big names, with Hansal Mehta, with Tigmanshu Dhulia. You've had a prolific career. How excited were you with this project? Because I read somewhere that you, when Piyush came to give you a narration for Tarla, you were sold. You were like, I am gonna do this movie no matter what. I want to know what's the truth behind this. Is this a rumor? Is this a gossip? What was that sold your soul? Because I want to share something with you, Sharif. This movie is not just a biopic. This movie has a very underlying message. It's about accomplishing your dreams. It's about dreams don't have an age. Dreams don't have an expiration. What was the narration that Piyush did that sold you Tarla?
I, d- I don't know what was it, but the way he narrated me the story, and I was completely moved by it. In fact, there was an emotional moment which is there towards the pre-climax of the film, and while he was narrating it, I started, my tears started flowing, and I couldn't stop myself, and it never happened during a narration before. This was the first time I was experiencing this, and I was trying to control myself, but I couldn't stop myself from crying, and that was the impact I had of the narration, and that's how beautifully Piyush Bhai and Gautam have written the script of Tarla, and that's how inspiring Tarla Madam's story is.
And Piyush, a question to you. You've been with one of the most brilliant filmmakers in the country, Mr. Nitish Tiwari and Mrs. Tiwari. Was there any sort of influence of Nitish sir on the sets, or was he in any way involved with the edits, or the taking, or maybe somehow to do with the writing in any sorts?
So Nitesh and I go back more than 15 years ago. He taught me how to write my first sentence in advertising. So when I was reporting into him, he was my boss, and he taught me how to write a line. So Nitesh's influence has been on my cinema. The way I look at cinema is coming from him. So in many ways, and especially since we've been writing together for over a decade, together, and for 5-6 years I was working under him. So I've learned everything from him. So the way our outlook towards movies is pretty similar. So there was never a
Correct.
I think from his end, he just told me one thing, that make it the way you're seeing it. He was shooting Bawal also, even he was not shooting, he wouldn't come on the set. On edit, I think we showed him the first cut and he loved it. He said, just trim it a bit, for the sake of duration. And that is all that, I mean, in fact, I went and I reshot one day. He was like, I don't think you need to, but I was like, no, there's one thing that I want to do, which is missing in that scene, and I want to do it again. So I did it. So extremely supportive. Both Nitesh and Ashwini have been there as a pillar of support. It's very interesting what these guys mean to me and what they do for me. It's like you feel like you're not working with producer, you're working with a guardian. They called me
With a
last night.
family.
And so they called me last night and they said that, some very good reviews are coming in, but do not have your hopes high. What if reviews are not up to the mark for you, you should not feel bad. So if they are great, then you should celebrate. But in case if you read a bad review, do not take it too hard. You made a beautiful film. Now, this is something that a producer would never do. It's got such a human touch to, to the way they are wanting to make films and nurture their writers and directors and talent that they are in touch with. So.
But Piyush, if I had to throw a curveball at you,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
not trying to put you on the spot,
No,
Piyush,
no.
but if you had to choose between Tarla being a commercial success or a critical hit, what would you choose? One out of the two.
My mother, right from the childhood, I have observed her. She dabbled into a lot of small-time businesses. She would make namkeen and sell it in the building. Then she
Okay.
became an LIC agent. I was trying to decode why was she doing these things. This was certainly not for money. I think it was mostly for identity. And that is the story that needs to reach its audience, to the women of this country. So I would say neither critical appreciation nor an Oscar or a 200 crore film. For me, if it's watched by all the women that I made it for, I'll be home and dry. Yeah.
And if this was a personality competition, I would be giving you a trophy right now, because you really answered it so well that I don't have any words but to just say that I hope that your story, your theme connects with the heart and soul, because the trailer that I watched on that's officially released, it talks about dreams, and dreams don't have a date. Dreams don't have an expiration. No matter how old you are, even in the United States, there are people who become doctors at the age of 55, 60. People achieve their dreams. And Tarla ma'am, besides being a housewife, achieved her dream. And Sharib bhai can also relate to what I'm saying is, as he's been a very, a supportive actor, and he's seen a boom in his career in a later part of his life, in a later stage of his life. If you agree with me, Sharib bhai, is that what I'm saying?
I completely agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. That's the reason why I resonated so much with Tarla ma'am's story, because she also found her calling very late in her life. वो जो कुछ कहती हैं कि मुझे कुछ करना है, that कुछ she found much later in her life, and उसी तरीके से मेरी भी लाइफ में जो कुछ था, which was acting. I found my calling at the age of 33. तो मेरे लिए भी, and then I started pursuing my dreams and my ambition. तो उस वक्त जब तरला मैम को पता चला, तो उनके हस्बैंड ने उनको पूरी तरह से सपोर्ट किया. जब मुझे पता चला, तो मेरी बेगम ने मुझको पूरी तरह से सपोर्ट किया.
बहुत बड़ी बात है शारिब भाई, यही बहुत बड़ी बात है. यही बात को पीयूष जी कह रहे हैं कि जो हस्बैंड का सपोर्ट होता है वो कितना महत्वपूर्ण, कितना इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. That's probably the most important thing, and that's what's missing in a lot of families, because they try
मेरे ख्याल से
to
जब हम पार्टनर्स होते हैं, तो फिर मेरे हिसाब से जब हम पार्टनर्स होते हैं, तो फिर हस्बैंड या वाइफ, ये इट बिकम्स इररेलेवेंट. फिर सिर्फ पार्टनर्स होते हैं मेरे ख्याल से, और एक दूसरे का जो सपोर्ट है, एक दूसरे के लिए जो रिस्पेक्ट है वो, और एक दूसरे के लिए जो प्यार है, अगर ये बरकरार है, तो फिर चाहे वो हस्बैंड को कुछ करना है या वाइफ को कुछ करना है, अगर दोनों एक दूसरे को वो स्पेस, वो सपोर्ट, वो एनकरेजमेंट और वो सिर्फ रिस्पेक्ट दे रहे हैं, तो काफी है. फिर वो नहीं समझ में नहीं आता कि यार सिर्फ सिर्फ वाइफ को कामयाबी मिलनी चाहिए या सिर्फ हस्बैंड को मिलनी चाहिए, सिर्फ एक को क्यों मिले. और अगर सिर्फ एक ही
That
को
is
मिल रही
so.
है तो
That is
दूसरा
so.
सैड होगा, इसकी भी कोई जरूरत नहीं है, हमेशा खुश रहना चाहिए बस.
That is so well said, Piyush. The movie releases in the United States on the 7th, and it's a family film. I'm sure that a lot of people here, it's the long weekend, would go with their families and their, with their children, with their wives, and go and watch this movie in movie theaters here. And a lot of them will watch it on OTT. If I had to give you uh, 60 seconds, Piyush, and the same goes to you, Sharib Bhai, what is the message that you would want to North American audiences, that why should they go and watch Tarla?
Try to sum up why I would have watched this movie. I think firstly, it's not been treated exactly like a biopic. So that
That's beautiful.
story of a struggle and sapna and all of that, we've been very cognizant that this has been done enough times. So we've written it very freshly. It's been performed excellently by Huma ma'am and Sharib sir. Really, really great performances. The music is quite good, and overall what we've tried to do is never let facts in moments come in the middle of between entertainment. So all of this is happening in an entertaining manner. It will have all the rust. So I always look at Indian movies like thali. An Indian thali has all kinds of food. It has
Gujarati thali, yeah,
ingredients.
yeah, yeah.
It's got its condiments. It's got everything filled with it. So this film also has everything filled in it because it's a film about food. We also treated it with a lot of fun, colors, entertainment. So, and a proper family film. So
Kya
if
baat hai.
you're looking to have a moment, a family moment together, this is a great watch.
मैं कह रहा हूँ कि जो तरला दलाल से करे प्यार, जो हुमा कुरैशी से करे प्यार, जो खाने से करे प्यार, वो तरला से कैसे करे इनकार.
क्या बात.
Okay. Well, that's absolutely well said. Piyush, quickly running back to the music, because this is something which is very untouched. You have used new talent when it comes to music. I know कि रेखा जी ने गाना गाया है, but there is a new name when it comes to the music of this film. There are a couple of new names. Would you want to tell us more about the music of this film?
So the BGM background music of the film is done by Nilotpal Bora. Nilotpal has also done songs for this series called Aspirants, which I really liked, and I really liked the song that he had composed called Dhaga, and that's why I had approached him. He's also done one song called Rang Khile, which is the first song of the film. Besides him, it's a debut for Suhit Abhyankar. He's done two songs, one by Rekha ji at the end. Then Yahi To Hai Zindagi, he's both written, sung, and composed. So it's been an amazing journey. Yeah, that as well. The
वो भी
kitchen.
उसी ने
Yeah,
किया,
yeah,
हाँ.
yeah. Sharib bhai, कोई गा के सुना दो.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a great
नहीं,
singer.
इतना
I
ही
think
था.
Sharib bhai wanted to sing something.
नहीं, यही मैं याद दिला रहा था, वो तीना ना ना नी ना ना, वो बहुत ही प्यारा ट्रैक है हमारे फिल्म में, जो सोहित ने ही किया है वो.
One question जो मेरे चैनल ने, नेटवर्क ने मुझे आपसे पूछने के लिए जरूर कहा था, that Monty, don't forget to ask this question. Was the getup of Huma, like the bucktooth appearance, and what was that like? Was that because I'm sure Tarla ji didn't have bucktooth in real life, but was that just to add like a flavor to the entire saga? Her appearance and
So I think what happened is that right at the beginning of the film, we knew that physically we'll not be able to match both of them precisely. There's a huge drastic difference in physicality. So what we said was, let's capture the cuteness of this character. She somehow, short, fluid, and she's got specs and, a bouncy hair. So there's a lot of cuteness that Tarla had, right? Tarla ji had. Now, my thing was that that is her cuteness. When it came to Huma ma'am, we said, how do we make her come across as cute as we can in a homemaker fashion? So then we distanced ourselves from trying to ape the character that we were playing, and we tried to find the cuteness within within Huma ma'am. So Bucktooth and all of that was part of the experimentation. Also, we wanted to create braces because we wanted to let audience feel her age when the film takes the leap, should feel certain physical differences in her. So, so Bucktooth became a good way of, these braces became a very smart way of doing that as well. So yeah, these were just decisions that we made, hoping that they will land correctly. I hope they did.
Now, look, it's gathered a lot of attention. People are giving kudos to the makeup. I guess the makeup artist is a brand new artist. She hasn't. This is probably one of a couple of her projects, and I think that look is catchy. You know, something very uncommon to be seen. A protagonist of Huma's stature, you know, carrying that uncommon, unconventional look, and I guess that I think it's gonna work wonders. Maybe it's not a right comparison, but it's like, you know, a superstar actor playing ball. You know, maybe a Shahrukh playing ball. You know, how much of attention would that gather? So I guess that that look is going to work. Uh, my fingers are crossed. I'm very intuitive. I hope that your debut film fulfills all your expectations. Your mentors are looking up out there. Nitish sir, Mrs. Tiwari, they're all looking up to you. We all looking forward for this great project. And Sharib bhai is so excited, and I think he's all pumped up. And he's living the
Absolutely.
character of Nalan. वो अपने कैसे नालन बन
Nalin
पता
Dalal.
नहीं शारिब भाई नालन दलाल बन गए हो आप और I think you will also start cooking very soon or
Inshallah.
maybe all inshallah, and I wish you guys all the very best. Thank you for joining, and
Thank you.
जाते जाते अगर आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे अपने viewers को शारिब भाई अगर आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे about anything, any message that you would like to give your viewers in North
मैं
America.
तो
We
हाँ,
loved you in Shiv Shastra.
थैंक यू मैं सिर्फ यही बोलूंगा कि दिल से बहुत 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 शुक्रिया जितना प्यार मुझे मिलता है। मैं इनफैक्ट जब लास्ट ईयर फैमिली के साथ आया था यूएस में, मुझे इतने सारे रास्ते में इंडियंस मिलते थे और पकड़ के कि अरे जेके 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 अरे तमें आया अरे बहुत सारे
Absolutely, yeah.
और
Family man.
एक बंदा तो मतलब बिना मुझे वो करके ऐसे ही हक कर दिया, और तो माय डॉटर वाज कि अरे यार ये तो एकदम अंकल वाज सो रूड डैडा आपसे पूछे भी नहीं हक करने के पहले मैंने बोला बेटा प्यार है उनका, वो आने
Because
दो
people
तो
प्यार है ना
मैं
शारिब
तो
भाई, यही
दिल
तो
से
ऑडियंस
शुक्रिया।
का प्यार
हाँ
होता है जब आप यूएस में आते हो. And family man,
हाँ
and
हाँ
all your projects have created a, just say you have that nice next door, the nice cute guy living next door appeal. तो वो एक obviously you're not a Hrithik Roshan, but आपका जो charm है वो it's very relatable. It's like यार मेरे फूफी का लड़का या मेरा खालू का
अरे
मेरे it's how people can relate to you, and that's the reason why when Piyush rightly said that he literally fell in love with you the first day he met you. And the same thing applies to me, sir, on a very straight note, that the day I met you, I was like, man, this man is
स्ट्रेट नोट
humility
ही है ना। हाँ
personified. Like, okay, I see that. You're good at
थैंक
catching
यू
words. But stay the way you are, Sharad bhai. The way, how humble you are,
so much।
and miles to go before you sleep. And Piyush sir, all I want to say is that we wish you all the very best, and more biopics to come. I hope and I wish that this movie was released in movie theaters, but it's just a straight OTT release. So we wish you all the very best, Piyush sir.
Thank you so much.
Any signing off notes? Anything you would like to say to your North America, US, Canada audiences before we say goodbye?
I have to because my sister lives in California, so with her family. So in fact, I'm traveling to US in September. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those places where so much of Indian diaspora stays and lives, and especially a lot of Gujarati communities. And I hope that when they watch this film, they travel back to India and back to India of 1980s. When things were simpler and our lives were simpler. That was the entire intention of teleporting people to simpler times and allowing us to experience our childhood and or whichever that phase that you loved. So I hope all the American audience, Canadian audience, my best friend lives in Canada. So I'm really hoping that it connects with both of these countries.
It will surely connect. The next time you come to US and Canada, you'll get dhoklas and dhoklas and dhoklas galore. और वहाँ पर डांडिया, यहाँ तो इतने बड़े-बड़े डांडिया functions होते हैं. They'll call you for डांडिया as a chief guest. Piyush bhai, आइए.
I know, because my sister,
a lot of tarlas here.
One day I called her. She said she's going for Pankaj Udas's concert. I'm like, you never did that in India. And she's like, but we are in US, we miss the country a lot more. So they go for all of these concerts.
अरे sir, people are more Indian over here. यहाँ पर तो लोग तरसते हैं कि कोई हिंदी बात करने वाला, उर्दू बात करने वाला मिल जाए. सर, मैं जब बॉम्बे आता हूँ तो मैं हिंदी में बात करता हूँ, लोग मुझसे इंग्लिश में बात करते हैं. So it's always that thing that you miss. But I thank you guys for giving your precious half an hour on a morning in India. But I know you guys have a busy schedule ahead of you. Piyush bhai, we wish you all the very best, and may Tarla stay in our minds and in our hearts. और इससे कुछ थोड़ी अच्छी सीख मिले husbands को कि वो अपने wives को support करे. Women empowerment जिंदाबाद. I'm always supportive of women empowerment.
Absolutely.
Women empowerment जिंदाबाद.
Zindabad.
Sharib bhai, thank you so much for your time, and keep touching hearts and keep smiling the way you do, sir.
Thank you so much, Monty bhai. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That was the beautiful director and the lead protagonist of a great film that's coming your way. That's Tarla. Make sure you watch it. It's a great movie with a great message, made with a great team and made with lots of love. तो अगर जैसे शारिब भाई ने कहा, जो तरला से करे, जो क्या कहा था, जो खाने से करे प्यार,
खाने से करे प्यार, वो तरला से कैसे करे इनकार.
जो खाने से करे प्यार, वो तरला से कैसे करे इनकार. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host and host Monty signing off. Keep watching the Monty Khan Show.